may I come in?
Please come, Rajat.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon,
Rajat.
sir. Good
Please,
Good afternoon, sir.
please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Rajat, please introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Rajat Singh and I come from the city of Lucknow, UP. So, after that, I have completed my graduation in chemical engineering from IIT Roorkee in 2020. Since then, I have been preparing for civil services. And so, in my free time, I like to play rapid and blitz chess and transcribe songs on guitar. Sir.
So, Rajat, you're from Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Now, we saw a lot of news on UP Global Investor Summit, right? We also saw in that later on that UP is projecting a nominal GDP growth of 19.1%,
Yes.
which is the highest in the country.
Yes.
Now, how do you think this investment will get converted into nominal GDP within a year? Because the actual on-ground implementation, it's a long gestation, 2-3 years it takes. So what is it that suddenly from around 8.9 last year to 19.1, what is going to happen? Can you throw some light?
Yes, sir. We have this estimate in this year's budget that we will have a 19% of growth. Sir, I believe that even the budget that we see is the highest budget of UP right now. And sir, I believe that any kind of such projects like Global Investor Summit will have a number of spillover effects. On paper, it might seem not that much, but once it starts to operate, the multiplier effect of it would act on that momentum and would genuinely increase the number of jobs and the infrastructure building, sir. So from that point, I do believe that we can achieve that, sir.
Rajat, you're a chemistry optional
Yes.
and a chemical engineer.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, India is called world's pharmacy,
Yes, sir.
right? But still, what prevents us to be Atmanirbhar in pharma sector?
Sir, some reasons that comes to my mind is firstly, sir, our dependence on APIs import. So active pharmaceutical ingredients that we import mostly from China. And we are seeing that our relations with China is not that good. And India is actually trying to move in the direction of Atmanirbharta in its production. So for instance, government has initiated schemes like bulk drug parks and R&D subsidies are also being given. So secondly, sir, also that India faces issues from world trade bodies like WTO on generic drug making, because only under compulsory licensing can we use the formulas made by foreign companies. Apart from that, it is difficult because it is patented, sir. So, and sir, lastly, sir, I believe that industry academia linkage is also poor in India, and more research would be needed to develop that, sir.
Rajat, I'm seeing from your DAF,
Yes, sir.
you have done something on a simulation model of methanol production,
Yes, sir.
right? I'm not asking about production. I'm asking about how methanol can be used in automobile fuel.
So methanol has usage in automobiles, mostly in blending of our petrol and diesel. So firstly, methanol is a very clean fuel. It does not emit any kind of oxides of nitrogen or sulfur, and its particulate matter is also almost nil, sir. So from our carbon neutrality point of view, I believe methanol blending is a good way forward.
What about ethanol blending?
So ethanol blending is currently being done by the government. We recently achieved the 10% blending target, and 20% target is for 2025-2026.
Which is better?
So both has its pros and cons. Currently we are focusing on ethanol because production from like sugarcane is a bit easier, and it can be easily used in biodigester and produced from that. Methanol has certain issues. So firstly, it's toxic, and methanol calorific value is also less than ethanol because it has less carbon chain. But apart from that, methanol has number of benefits also, sir. So firstly, methanol can be produced from number of other ways, like coal gasification is one of the leading ways. So we can also
Is
produce.
it more less? It is less polluting also, lesser than methanol, ethanol.
So, I feel that in cases of both methanol and ethanol, the pollution will be much less compared to our fossil fuel usage.
All right. So I shift to another question. You have mentioned that you were in some parliamentary debate competition.
Yes, sir.
Right. So you are in the Parliament of India.
Yes, sir.
Right? Bureaucrats don't sit in the parliament for the time being. And you have to speak on a debate on same-sex marriage.
Right, sir.
And you have to speak against same-sex marriage.
Okay, sir.
Just take half a minute and come out with reasons. Shall we shift to the next question?
Sir, I can start, sir. Yes. Sir, firstly, we must define the institution of marriage. And sir, in India specifically, sir, marriage is an institution that is the fundamental basis of family, and family becomes the unit of our society, sir. So the issue with same-sex marriage, as we can see, is we cannot define it under the concept of marriage that we have in India, because the whole society is dependent on it. Our religion, our morals and ethics of society is dependent on that. Also, sir, family is the first school of a person and a child growing up, where he needs both man and a woman. So the biological union between a man and woman then enters into the role of father and mother, sir. And both have their different roles. For instance, sir, a girl learns accommodation with the opposite gender by living in the family with the father, while the boy learns about respect of the opposite gender.
Thank you, Rajat.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
So, Rajat,
Yes.
you are a UP person
Yes.
for all aspects. What are the principal issues relating to administration or social issues concerning Uttar Pradesh? You can flag few of them.
Yes.
Mm.
So firstly, I believe in the sector of education, sir, our human development index is low around, so it is less than the national average, so which is around 0.6 and we have around 0.5. So because in that, education is a bit of an issue. We have seen that
Okay,
issues
next,
of, yes, sir.
Just flag the issues.
So then health sector, I also believe. So we have lack of enough doctors, and our primary health centers also lack infrastructure.
What about maternal mortality rate?
Yes, so that is also high in UP. So apart from that, I also believe that in UP, law and order situation has been historically an issue, but in the last years, it has developed to a good extent. And so infrastructure building was also poor in UP, because of which it was called a Bimaru state. But now I believe that we are moving in a very positive direction.
Do you think dividing Uttar Pradesh into smaller administrative units is partially a solution for these problems?
Sir, in my opinion, I feel that dividing of state into smaller units can only be a short-term solution. But as we have seen in number of states which have been divided, the issue of development still remains. So we should focus more on distribution of the welfare services equally across the state, so that disparity reduces, like we have seen in Bundelkhand, which is still facing issues of development. Apart from that, like development of infrastructure and ensuring that other allied sectors like in agriculture, where we are facing issues of land fragmentation and disguised unemployment, and making more labor intensive sectors. I believe these should be the way forward, sir.
Okay. Transport Minister's car, he said he runs on hydrogen fuel.
Yes, sir.
What is this hydrogen fuel? How does it run the car?
Sir, hydrogen fuel cell is the technology behind these cars, where we are using hydrogen by filling the car with hydrogen pumps that will be there, and oxygen taking from the environment. The hydrogen will act as an anode, where it will get oxidized into H plus ions, while on the cathode we will have oxygen where it will form oxide ions, and this will undergo a redox reaction, and the electrons that will be generated will go through the external circuit, and then we can utilize that in the car machines.
That electrons will not get dissipated.
So we have the external circuit through which the electron can be moved to the other side, and there's a separator also, sir. It prevents the movement of electrons but allows the movement of H plus.
Yes, that's what the function of
Yes, sir.
that fuel cell is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Carriage of hydrogen for the purpose, commercial purposes, how it is done?
Sir, could you repeat the question, please?
Hydrogen
Yes, sir.
liquefies or boils at about how much? Minus
So I'm not aware of exact-
253
Okay, sir.
degrees centigrade.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that means it's a pretty low temperature.
Yes, sir.
So carrying from one place to another is a problem. Do they carry it like hydrogen or do they carry it in some other way?
So carrying of hydrogen is a difficult task because transportation, it is also combustible gas, so transportation has issues. So I'm not aware of the exact way it which is transported, but I believe that in terms of, we can convert it to green ammonia. In some of the, like in Meerut, so Mathura refinery, I guess, is producing in situ hydrogen, where they will convert to ammonia.
Yes, that can
and
be
then-
done. This lithium,
Yes, sir.
lithium, they say it is a light metal.
Yes, sir.
By its position in periodic table, can you tell that it is exactly like that? Firstly, it is a metal. Secondly, it is light.
Yes, sir. So it atomic number 3 and just below hydrogen, sir, it is the first metal or the solid structure that we get in the periodic table, sir.
What signifies the metallic structure?
So there are a number of properties. So firstly, that metals are ductile, malleable, and also have a luster.
Tell me, is useful for us this lithium discovery in JNK?
So currently it is inferred, sir. Inferred tag has been given. So it is, we cannot say right now as to how much lithium economically, viably can be taken out from there. But it does point to the fact that we have the reserves, and with better technology, once we analyze it, we can maybe extract it also.
Mhm. Where we are likely to use it?
So in lithium ion batteries, so we will use like in electric vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Rajat, now UP government claimed that there is a tremendous improvement in law and order situation.
Yes,
Law and
sir.
order situation.
Yes, sir.
But to achieve that, 179 alleged criminals have been killed in encounters in last 6 years.
Yes, sir.
That the report I saw in newspaper about 2 weeks back. So, do you think that this is a good way of achieving a crime-free kind of society, killing people in encounters? What is your view on this?
Sir, I do not believe that the government is using encounters as a policy measure, because we have seen even the government has said that in most, because of the zero tolerance policy against the criminals and mafias, often police had to face retaliation from these mafias. And also, sir, Honorable Court has said that only in cases of personal protection of the police and their team can encounters or violence can be done. It is only a measure of self-defense, not a measure of revenge or action against the mafias. And sir, I do not believe that it can be a way forward. Any such kind of issue should always be objectively investigated, sir, by judicial proof, sir.
Now, you are a chemistry student, your option was chemistry and you have done chemical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell me which are important greenhouse gases?
So firstly is carbon dioxide. So water vapor, it's a short term GHG. So then we have many CFCs also have global warming potential. So oxides of nitrogen are also there. Some oxides that also cause greenhouse warming.
Yeah, it is nitrous oxide basically.
Yes,
No,
sir.
not other oxide. It is only nitrous
Nitrous
oxide
oxides.
and also methane.
Methane, sir.
Yes. So now tell me, Rajat, how to reduce carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide from the atmosphere? What are the one or two measures
Right, sir.
to reduce these? Because these are major GHGs.
So for nitrogen oxides, their primary source is vehicles exhaust, and there we are using catalytic converters which will reduce them to nitrogen and then release to the environment. Sir, in case of CO2, in case of carbon dioxide, sir, one method is sequestration, sir. We can take it out from the atmosphere and then fill it in the geological mines and then cover it up. Other method, sir, to reduce CO2 is using renewable energy, sir. In that way, we will not release it.
What about methane?
So methane, one thing that comes to my mind is that in case of animals, mostly cattle, they release a lot of methane. So currently, biodhan feed is being given to, which is rich in protein, to ensure that they do not release methane. So this is one step.
Can you name also few gases, Rajat, in the atmosphere, which are not GHGs, but they are air pollutants? They are polluting our air, other than GHGs?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you name?
So one is particulate matter, sir. Particulate matters.
Particulate matter, okay.
So-
What else?
So then, sir, sulfur oxides, so like sulfur dioxide. So one is
Okay,
that,
good,
sir.
great. Now this ODOP scheme in UP, it is doing very well. One of the best states in performing under this scheme of ODOP.
Yes.
So can you tell me one disadvantage of this scheme? Okay, no problem.
Oh, sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. This Atmanirbhar Bharat, I think it was launched about 2 years back.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me which sector of our economy has really done well on this Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Sir, I believe that the green transition sector of our economy, like we have increased our solar capacity also, and we have also achieved the ethanol blending program before the deadline, sir. So that was under Atmanirbhar Bharat. And secondly, sir, during COVID also, we have given free grains to lot of migrants and people. So I feel that is also was a success, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, sir.
Rajat,
Yes, sir.
we have 4 or 5 countries as our neighbors, you know,
sir. Yes.
Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Now, Rajat, tell me 2 or 3 things which are point of concern for India-Sri Lanka relations. We should have very good relations with Sri Lanka. So, can you tell me 3, 4 points which are important sectors where we have some problems with Sri Lanka? If you could tell me.
So one of the most important is the fishery sector. So often many of our fishermen cross the boundaries and then they are captured. So it leads to a lot of negatives in our relationship.
So why our fishermen, they are crossing that line?
So because maritime boundaries are difficult to demarcate, like land borders can be fenced, but it is difficult, I believe, in maritime sector.
Anything related to mechanized boat, mechanized trawlers or something like that?
Yes, sir. Trawlers are used for deep sea fishing, which also lead to ecological disadvantage.
No, the Sri Lanka and India relation I'm talking about.
Okay, sir.
Generally in the Park Strait, you know that
Yes, sir.
that area actually I'm talking about. So okay, this is one sector.
Okay.
What are other sectors?
Secondly, sir, I feel that the growing influence of Chinese in Sri Lanka is a matter of concern for India. So India has conveyed this concern to Sri Lanka. So that I believe. And thirdly, sir, I feel that any kind of destability in Sri Lanka, like we have seen recently, where India did not provide help to the political leadership from the view that it would make the people have bad relations with India. So these were, I believe, 3 issues.
Now, if you have told me 3 issues about Sri Lanka, similarly, we have some positive relationship with Nepal. What are some important positive factors in our relationship with Nepal?
Sir, firstly, sir, with Nepal we have a porous border, and it is called a roti beti ka rishta with Nepal because people move from one country to the other. Secondly, sir, India has made many investments also in Nepal, like hydroelectric plants have been made in Nepal. So also India is one of the leading trade partners of Nepal also. So apart from that, I feel the cultural relations between the two countries also match. Both the countries have sizable Hindu population, and many of the villages on the UP-Nepal border.
In the cultural relationship between Nepal and India, there is a term called 5G. Do you know about 5G?
Sorry, sir, I have not heard. I will read more about this, sir.
With Bangladesh, recently we had a friendship type of thing, friendship line.
Yes, sir.
What was that friendship line? Pipeline.
Yes, sir. It was. So it was an energy pipeline. I feel that I don't know exactly from where to where it was.
It was India and Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, yes, sir.
Energy pipeline for what?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall right now.
So these are the three countries. Now, but Pakistan, we have a different platform. We are on a different pedestal in Pakistan.
Yes, sir.
In Pakistan, just my last question is to you is that whether Pakistan in Russia-Ukraine war, what do you think? Is Pakistan overtly or covertly supporting Ukraine? Do you have some information on that? Or have you read some news somewhere on that? Pakistan supporting Ukraine either overtly or covertly?
Sorry, sir, I have to read.
You have to read about it. Thank you, Rajat. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much, sir.
So, Rajat,
Yes, sir.
parliamentary debate competition, you won some medal,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So, I would like to know your opinion on one nation, one election.
So in my opinion, I feel that it is a good step. So primarily because firstly, it would reduce our expenditure that we do on election. Secondly, sir, the breakage that occurs in governance because of the cycle of election would also be reduced, and both the governments at state and center can focus on governance. So there are challenges also, but I believe they can be bridged. So firstly, we have a parliamentary democracy where no confidence motion can be passed, and it can break this entire cycle. For that, I believe we can have a constructive no confidence motion, where at the same time when the no confidence motion is passed, the other members might pass their own confidence motion to form the government.
Okay,
This would ensure that
okay.
government does not.
You did your graduation from Uttarakhand, right? And you are from Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
So, Uttarakhand was a part of Uttar Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
and now it is doing very well. So, should Uttar Pradesh be bifurcated into many more states? What's your take on that?
So Uttarakhand was basically divided because of geographical reasons. It was very different. Sir, in personal, my own opinion, I do not feel UP should be divided, because UP can be a role model to show that even with heterogeneous people and culture and geographical regions, we can still put a united front and fight all the issues of development by ensuring that infrastructure development is there, regional disparity is reduced, and more focus to social sectors can be given. Also, sir, I believe that if we divide, like regions of Buldelkhand, they will be very small enough to have sustainable revenue generation. I believe that is possible only when states are bigger. So we can move towards that.
So, let's talk about the recent budget.
Yes.
Can you analyze the budget in brief?
Sir, do I have to tell about the national budget, sir?
Yeah, the
Okay,
union budget.
Sir, for the national budget that was passed, sir, it was around 45 lakh crore, out of which 10 lakh crore was given for capital expenditure, which was 33% hike, sir, from the last time. And sir, for revenue, we had 35 lakh crore. Sir, the vision of the budget was based on 7 priority sectors called Saptarishi. Sir, like green transition, inclusive development, reaching the last mile, youth power,
Okay.
financial sector.
Okay, fair enough. So, what are the two things which you did not like about the budget or could have been improved?
So one sector that I feel that government did was challenging was the reduction in Manrega budget. Government had its own reasons for viability of the scheme, but I believe that could have been avoided. So second, we can say that more efforts could be there for social security cover, sir. That I feel was a bit lacking because there was not much changes in the tax structures. So maybe a relief could have been given.
Okay, you like playing guitar and transcribing songs.
Yes, sir.
So, what's your take on remaking of old songs?
Sir, I feel that artistic creativity should not be curtailed. If people are remaking songs, they can do so because I feel that it brings out nuances, new areas of interest in those songs, how it can be conceived and how can it be perceived by people. So I believe it is a good thing to do, but it should not be in a way that removes the essence of the song. Like most remix songs are using the tone, but they are changing the lyrics to a vulgar sense. So I believe that should not be done.
What is this blitz chess?
So it's a time rating in chess. So blitz and rapid, where blitz is any chess game between 3 to 10 minutes, while rapid is from 10 to 60 minutes.
Okay, and why do you wish to join civil services?
So it was in my 4th year that I decided to pursue civil services. So primarily because I feel that I have been a multitasker and I wanted to work in a profession where the job diversity and opportunities brings the best in me, and the leadership opportunities, sir, that one gets at the earliest of one's career. Sir, I feel that is unique to civil services. And lastly, sir, I feel that India is undergoing through rapid, exciting changes and prospect, and I would want to be a part of it and contribute something, sir, back to the society.
Okay, thank you, Rajat. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
Rajat, we have asked you quite a few questions from your TAF. In case you think that something has not been covered, you may let me know. I can ask one more question.
Sir, I believe in the wisdom of the board members, but if given a chance, sir, one aspect was not as my intern one, sir, where I had worked in.
Okay, so you were intern.
Sir, in a startup called Room, sir. Yes,
Machine learning.
machine
All
learning.
right. So, what was this company where you were intern?
So it's a startup based in Gurugram, sir.
Okay. So what do you think is the scope of machine learning for India?
Sir, I believe there's a lot of potential for using machine learning. If I talk about, sir, governance, sir, we can use in number of steps. Firstly, sir, natural language processing is a way where we can convert languages to the regional languages on spot, and people can know more about the schemes that the government is promoting. So that would remove the issue of language barrier. Sir, apart from that, machine learning can be used. It is being used in disaster management also, sir, where drone technology with machine learning helps in finding where the persons have more probability of being trapped. So life and property can be faster saved, sir. Sir, in health sector and education sector also, sir, I feel it can be used.
So Rajat, we close our interview now. You may proceed to the waiting room. We'll call you again.
Thank you, sir.
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So Rajat, how do you think you have done today?
Sir, I believe I have answered decently, but there were some areas that I feel I could have been more short, and my constructive could have been better.
So Rajat, you were very good. You are a very bright candidate. Your personality, your communication, your energy level, your confidence, your content,
Thank you,
everything was perfect.
Thank you, sir.
And you have also admitted that you were a little longish and narrative, so you could be more structured.
Yes, sir.
And otherwise, in all spheres, you were good.
Thank you so much.
We have not much to add from our side.
Thank you.
Just one small correction. Your reply to why civil services was also very good.
Thank you so much.
Except there was no need to mention it was in the 4th year.
Okay, sir.
It had no relevance to your,
Right, sir.
right? So you avoid that.
Right, sir.
Short of that, if you see, your answer was perfect.
Thank you, sir.
So that's all from my side. We'll have.
Yes, I agree exactly the same. Nothing more to be added. When is your interview?
So it's on 11th of April.
11th April.
Yes, sir.
So 20 days or so.
Yes, sir.
So current affair becomes very important for you, and whichever is related to your DAF. Uttar Pradesh is very active Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
So every third day, fourth day, something else keeps on happening.
Yes, sir.
So whatever has a clinical, you can say, understanding or reading relating to your DAF, that you prepare. Don't go into emotional areas or political areas.
Right, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Rajat, on the question of your presentation in the Parliament
Yes, sir.
by Honorable Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you took excessive time to think, and that too without permission. Even Chairman sir had to say, "I will shift to another question."
Right, sir.
So you gave this impression that you are not able to answer that.
Yes, sir.
You should have taken permission, because if you are taking 3-4 seconds, you don't need any permission. But that if you take more than that, say more than 5 seconds, if you think that you will take, so it is always better to take permission from the member. Okay, sir, can I take some time? May I take some time? Okay.
Right, sir.
So that was one part. Then second is you wished everyone individually, and also you thanked everyone when you left. So just wish the chairperson and look at others.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And same while leaving the room.
Okay, sir.
But if there is a lady member, then wish her separately.
Okay, sir.
Then your hands were clasped. So
Yes.
avoid clasping. You can hold like this. Clasping is it has a negative connotation. Okay. Just you can keep one out. Otherwise, your hand movement was not much, but just clasping was.
So can I keep it like this?
You can keep it.
Ah.
Not here. Isko.
Keep it on the arms. You can
Like this.
Keep it like this also.
This is the
You
perfect.
can change also. ऐसा
You
नहीं
can
है
change.
कि-
Yeah. Because that shows that you are relaxed. You
Yes.
can change. You can do a little bit of hand movement, but never bring it over the table.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. Then also tie. Length of tie जो है ना वो थोड़ा आप देखिए. It should reach your belt level.
Okay, sir.
Belt level. Okay.
Right, sir.
Otherwise, as chairman sir has said that you are very good, confidence, communication skills, personality, energy level, everything was very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
And Rajat, besides the length, the knot should also be properly placed, not right or left, on the center only. And even if you take a permission for a silence of half a minute, is not required, it is not advisable. You don't take more than 5 or 6 seconds and come out with answers. It's a long silence was there. Anyway, but overall you are a very, very bright candidate.
Thank you,
You are
sir.
a very good candidate, okay?
Thank you, sir.
On the climate sector, read a lot. Forestry, wildlife, climate, biodiversity, all these things.
Right, sir.
Plus current affairs. Current affairs is Pakistan, Ukraine and all that. Pakistan is covertly supporting them on the insistence of USA.
Okay, sir.
So lot of issues are coming up. India is not supporting anybody, tacitly supporting Russia sort of thing. So please have some understanding on that. You answered very well about Nepal, about Sri Lanka. This is a diesel pipeline, Bangladesh. So India in its neighborhood. You may be asked questions, lot of questions on that. Okay? So from my side, 2 climates and India and its neighborhood.
Okay, sir.
Go with a speed, full speed,
Okay.
right?
Thank you.
And you are a very good candidate. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
So Rajat, you were very good. Keep it up. Just try to crisp your answers a bit.
Okay, sir.
Maybe 3 points are enough.
Okay, sir.
Rajat, anything you would like to ask us?
Sir, my entry and exit, sir, was it fine? Sir.
Yeah, it was good, except that you had mentioned something about his introduction, no?
You wish everyone.
हाँ, sir,
Ah.
I will keep that.
That you should cover.
That is okay.
Sir, I should not show my back while exiting. I mean, if I
What would you do then?
Sir, I mean, like.
नहीं नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं
No, no. That you
Go in
do
the
only,
normal-
That you do only in temples. Then you don't show your back.
उसमें घबराने की बात नहीं
ऐसे
है
आराम से आप बिल्कुल नहीं. Otherwise you are good. Your personality, your body language, very
Just
good.
be as it is, as you are.
Hey.
You are
Be
good.
as it is, as you are. Be natural.
Don't make too many changes in
don't
today's
make too
except
many
this point.
yes,
Not
sir, I
wishing
will keep
everyone. And rest of the things that we have told.
Hairs को भी थोड़ा सा ना आपके hairs बड़े तो देख लीजिएगा
हाँ,
आपको।
थोड़ा माथे पे ना आए। और कोई क्वेश्चन आपका रजत?
Sir, attire is fine. Sir.
अटायर इज लुकिंग वेरी स्मार्ट।
नहीं, लुकिंग
टाई थोड़ी लंबी कर लेना
Chai, sir. I
और नॉट लेफ्टिस्ट और राइटिस्ट नहीं कहलाने चाहिए।
और शेव भी थोड़ा, तो आपका टाइम है, शेव भी आप उस दिन करके ही जाएंगे, बट एक आधा जो मॉक है ना भी अगर दे रहे हैं आप,
Right, sir.
तो पूरा शेव वगैरह करके अच्छे से एकदम टाई की जो लेंथ जो बताई है वो भी बढ़ा लीजिए। उसमें जो पॉइंट्स आज बताए हैं
हाँ, sir.
उस पर थोड़ा काम करके अगर जाएंगे 10 दिन 15 दिन में, अभी जो टाइम है आपका,
So I'll definitely.
अभी जो आपकी 11th अप्रैल है, तो स्टिल है 15 70 days टू गो।
एनीथिंग एल्स?
No, sir.
हाथ ऐसे, हाँ बेटर है, ऐसे नहीं।
ये भी बड़ा अजीब लग रहा है यार, ये ऐसे रख दो बस सिंपल सा। हाँ
लाइट सर रखिए ना एकदम
हाँ,
रिलैक्स,
बस ये रिलैक्स। So we have given you Rajat 69% today.
190 marks।
Okay, sir.
All right. This is your first UPSC interview.
Yes, sir.
Right. You're doing very well, Rajat.
Thank you,
If you have done your mains well,
Yes, sir.
you are in. So look at the importance of your interview. It will fetch you and give you a lot of lead from others. Okay? All the best.
Okay, all the best।